Hey Scrappy friends, this is Max from Max Graphics, and today I'm going to show you my new packs of Everyday Enhanced Warped Frames and the Everyday Enhanced Warped Photo Clusters. Back in 2021, I created an original set of warped frames. They looked like this. They just were the frames. You had to add your own photos behind. And everything was fused together into one piece. But now with the advent of enhanced art, we have a lot more versatility. So I went back and rebuilt the original ones from scratch and then added new shapes and then a secondary pack of photo clusters that use different warped pieces and some additional new shapes. So I thought I would show you what all of these can do. I'm going to turn that off. All right, here is our layout. When you first go into the Everyday Enhanced Warped Frames, you're going to see some individual photo drops. And if I look here, and you can see it'll tell you that it's an enhanced warp frame. This one is a 5x7. Obviously it's vertical. This one over here is 7x5. We also have the sizes of 4x6 and 6x4, as well as 3x5 and 5x3. There is a big one that's 10x5. I'll add that to the page so you can see. Also 3 different sizes of squares. Then we have circles, ovals, and then some additional shapes here. I'll wait until I get into the strips. When you add one to your page, it will show that it is grouped. So we're going to right click, grouping, ungroup. And now you see you have multiple layers. Your top layer is the actual frame. This frame can be changed with color or texture or any paper that you want to put on it. If I wanted to change the color of this, I would go up to the format ribbon and pick color. I would pick a color that I would like it to be and click OK. If I was satisfied with that color and wanted to add texture, then I could go up to the surface and I could choose texture. I'm going to raise the amplification just so that you can see it. Although with that color, it's a little bit hard, but we'll zoom in. You can see that it added texture to the frame. Another thing that I can do is add a paper over it. I'll just click on the first one we've got here. But I could choose one of these and say fill selected shape. And now it is going to add the paper I choose over my frame. So that's just the frame layer. Next, we have your photo drop layer. In this, you can just drop in anything. Back over Valentine's Day, I went on a Galentine's Day out with friends and we went to a taco place and then we went to a really neat crepe place for dessert. I'm going to drop in one of the photos here. This is, I'm not even sure what this is. It looks like deviled eggs with some deliciousness on it, but this functions as any other photo frame word that you can zoom in or out. The next thing that you have, I'm going to hide the pieces, is just a background. In case you need it for anything, you have a white background or off-white, so that's easy to see. And then the final layer is our warped shadow that's been adjusted by me so that it looks as if it is peeking out, and it gives this illusion that the corners are lifting up. If you didn't want it to be doing that anymore, you could hide that layer. I would suggest going to this bottom shape, up to Format, Custom, and choosing whatever kind of normal shadow you might want. But the whole purpose for me for making this was to have the warped frame so it looks like it's peeking off. Once you have it the way that you want it, I really suggest going back and grouping it so that when you move it, all of the pieces stay lined up together. You don't want the shadow part to disappear somewhere else. So we're going to go back to where we were. Warped frames. Okay, so as you can see, you have that with the different squares. Maybe you want it to happen with a circle where it looks like it's lifted up. Same idea, grouping, ungroup. And you have those same bits. You have the outer frame right here. You have an inner photo. You have a plain white shape. And you have the warped shadow underneath. And when you have them all together, it looks as if it is peeling off of the page with a lot of options for customization. some of our new shapes that have been added from the original non-enhanced group. We now have some different ovals, and of course, keeping the size aspect ratio, you can always enlarge them or make them smaller depending on your layout. There's a fun star that you can use. There are two different hearts that look as if they're peeling off the page. I'm going to pull these off. And we've got a puzzle piece that is very fun. A little star here. And then we go into some strips. Same idea, you're going to be able to ungroup them, but we have some horizontal strips first of all. This one obviously is by 3. This one has 4 going across. And then here's some taller, a little more square, 3 across and 4 across. And just like before, you would take this and right-click, group, ungroup. You now have the outer frame, your individual photos. You have your back shape. If you wanted to hide these individual photos, you could always take this back shape, which is not warped, even though it looks as if it is because of the shadow. This is actually a normal rectangle. And so you could turn it into a photo drop point if you just wanted it one across. You see how it's one big photo? And with my frame, it is broken up into 4 pieces. But if you didn't want to use that, you could always keep this as a photo frame and you could add a stroke. It still keeps the illusion of being lifted off the page because we have this shadow underneath it. Move this over. Take these. Oops, I don't want that one. Delete. And while I'm here, I'll lock my background. We also have some vertical strips. Yes, you could have taken the horizontal strip and turned it yourself and then reoriented all of the photo drops and then tried to figure out what to do with the shadows, which were suddenly not the right direction, but I remade it for you with the shadows that look correctly like they're being peeled off from that orientation. And you have those same options. So that's in the first pack. It's just a huge assortment of frames that all have the warped shadow, but all are completely customizable. The old pack is now discontinued because this one is much, much better. And if you choose to purchase this, you'll now be able to fully customize all of the bits, including deleting or adjusting your shadow. I'm going to click Group, Ungroup. Maybe you want it to look a little more lifted off the page. You could make some adjustments by pulling it here down. Now it looks like it's really popping off the page. Sometimes you can do a little bit of rotation. Now it looks like it's stuck down on this side, but it's really popping off on this side. So having all of these layers just gives you so much more versatility with what you can do. Now the second pack that I have for you are the warped photo clusters. And the photo clusters are awesome because when you take one and add them to the page, all you have to do is drop in some pictures. So I'm going to do Group, Ungroup. And in this particular photo cluster, we have 1, 2 enhanced, or 1, 2 that are warped, peeling off, and then a set of normal ones behind, as if you had a stack of photos, but then the top 2 are peeling up. So I could drag and drop a photo in here. This is me at the Galentine's dinner with my tacos. I think this is from Agave and Rye, which meant I got a lobster and mac and cheese tacos, as well as another one that was one of their specialties. Here's another picture that I could add in with some close-ups. Oh, makes me hungry just looking at it. We also went to a really neat place called Crepe and Dip that serves dessert crepes and other fun desserts. So I could slip those in here. This was one of my favorite desserts. It was pistachio and chocolate it was just amazing. I'm not even sure what all the ingredients are, but I loved it. And as you see, you can just drop them in. But the nice thing about enhanced art is that you can move and adjust and resize anything. So if I wanted this to be just a little bit wider to fit in, I could. If I wanted this one to be wider, I could. If you're going to be adjusting one of the warped ones, I would very much suggest first selecting them, grouping just that part back together, and then keeping the aspect ratio locked. I do it by holding my shift bar. You can do it in properties too, making sure it's maintained there, but you can make adjustments just to keep it if you need it a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller. I'm going to pull these off and show you some of the other arrangements that you'll find in the photo clusters pack. So we have this one that has many photo drops, and then a star and a square that are pulling off the page. We have this one with some different puzzle pieces. One of the ones that you found originally here, whoops, grouping, ungroup. I think this was our original one down here, but we have another puzzle shape over here. I'm going to highlight all of those pieces just to keep them together. And then we've got this other one over here that look like they're peeling off to different degrees. All right, here's another fun one that you'll find in this bundle. We've got some hearts peeling off the page along with some normal photos behind it. And I liked this one with the flowers and leaves. When I do grouping, ungroup, now you've got each of these is a different photo drop, but oriented so that, you know, it's still right side up. This flower, I could always come up here and add color to that. Let's say standard colors. Let's give it a pale pink. And we'll go to this one and give it a pretty yellow. I think I'll go over here to this one, up to color. I know there's not a lot of blue flowers, but it's still really cute. Up here, color. There's a green. Yeah, I think we'll do the same for this one. Now you'll be able to find some fun spring papers behind, drop in your photos, and you have a really neat photo cluster on your page. Group. The key thing to remember is when you ungroup these photo clusters, if you're working with one of the enhanced items, you just want to make sure that you keep those pieces lined up together or make some subgroups of your own. Here we've got a paw print that's peeling off the page, as well as a few circles and then some normal circle photo drops. So I'm going to right click, grouping, and ungroup. And if you look at my paw print, I've got a bright red frame for this one, which means if you don't want little photos in this paw print, you can hide these. And this red one is a photo frame. It's just currently filled with red. You could drop in a photo and it would actually spread your photo out across the paw print. So it would be one photo in all of these bits and pieces. If you don't want to use it, you can lock it or hide it and go back and use these little pieces. But just like before, you can change the frame color, texture, you can add a paper to it. And behind the whole thing, you do have the basic shape over here, and we have our lifted frame or lifted shadow, which you can always adjust in little tiny bits if you want it to look more lifted off of the page. And again, once I've ungrouped all of this, if I want to move something, just before you go willy-nilly moving something, I'm going to hit undo. Look and see and maybe grab all of its pieces. So from the frame, the photo, the background, and the shadow, then you keep it all lined up together. So these are my new warped items, and I know that you are going to have a great time playing with these because I certainly had a really wonderful time making these. If you are interested in them, you will need to purchase the new pack. It takes an equal amount of time, if not longer in some cases, to turn an old kit into enhanced. It is a brand new product, and it will be in the Forever store. Thanks for watching. I can't wait to see what you make.